Later, we're going to have the star now of the hit show Keeping Faith, Myles, no stranger to shady characters and mysterious disappearances.
And it seems they're both things she'll be encountering a lot more of as she takes on the role of DS Lola Franks in new crime drama We Hunt Together.
And Eve is joining us now. Morning, Eve.
Good morning.
Good morning, both. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
You're
It's lovely
very
to have you here. So this actually is there's a lot happening right from the word go, because this is not a whodunit, is it?
No, it's not. It's a twist on the classic cat and mouse thriller. It's a psychological thriller, and it's not who done it. We know from the beginning who's done it. It's about, do they get caught? And more importantly, do we want them to get caught?
Well, that's the interesting point, isn't it? Because the more you find out about the bad guys, essentially, the more empathy you begin to have for them.
Yeah, I mean, I found that straight away, actually, when the scripts arrived. I think in the audition, I said, please don't judge me to the producers, but I'm not sure who I like more, whether it's, you know, the young couple or the detectives. But you certainly do meet them at their very worst. And then through the series, you find out what's defined them and what's made them who they are today and why they do what they do.
One of the things that attracted you to it when you read it was Lola Franks, the personality, her personality, because she's a complex woman, isn't she?
Yes, she is complex. Yes, she's. I fell in love with her on the page. I just thought that she's carrying a terrible amount of guilt, and she's very, very damaged. I mean, the four of them are damaged. The damaged four, I call them all the way through. But yeah, she's very, very damaged. She's holding on to a secret that has defined her today and has made her who she is today. And we find that out through the series. But she's a kind of character who doesn't want to be seen. She wants to be invisible, and it's the work that keeps her going and keeps her alive.
And actually, Jackson, who is her partner, to begin with, you sort of think, God, these two are never going to work together. They're so different and they clearly don't get on. But again, that dynamic changes and grows.
It does, and it is one of those really interesting relationships that they don't need anything from each other and they have nothing to give each other. So it's kind of, they're on an equal par from the word go. So it's a really interesting, brilliant dynamic, one that you don't see very often, especially in a crime thriller.
No, I mean, it's a little bit, I suppose, like Ozark, something like that, Breaking Bad, where you're actually following the baddies.
You are, and you know, those are two of my favourite dramas. I've just finished Ozarks at the moment, and if you haven't seen it, it's amazing. But it is about following those people who do very, very heinous, bad things, bad crimes. And yet we find ourselves sitting there going, please don't get caught. Please don't get caught. You know, it says a lot about us, doesn't it? You know, so it does have those elements in it. But we do delve into things, you know, intoxication, attraction, how that intoxicates us, and how we all are. You know, are we all good? Are we all bad? What makes us like that? And it certainly deals with that in this drama. It shows you that sometimes people aren't what they seem and what's made them like that. It's really interesting.
Well, it must also be interesting for you as an actress to play such different characters. You know, you've got Lola on one hand, and then you've got your character in Keeping Faith, who is entirely different and is so tactile and is so warm. So it must be nice to change it up as much as that.
Yes, it is. I mean, you've got Faith Howells on one hand, who is, you know, Mother Earth. She's tactile, as you said, and kind and generous and full of life and love. And then you've got Lola, who is, you know, wants to be alone, doesn't want to be seen, wants to be invisible, is terribly inappropriate. She's got a stinking tongue on her, as my mother would say. And she's hard. She's got a really, really difficult life. So I was having lots of notes on set from my two lovely directors, Carl Tivitz and John Jones, of Eve, you're being quite nice. You know, you've got to snap back into Lola, who's very kind of sharp and straight and hard. So it was lovely to change it up. That's what you kind of want as an
how
actor.
long did you have left filming Faith?
Keeping Faith, the third series, we had 6 weeks left before
Oh,
we were before we had to stop, unfortunately. But yeah, hopefully we can get back and give you the third and final series.
Yeah, I bet. And also for you, because obviously, you know, you are Welsh, but you don't speak Welsh, and yet the whole thing, you film in Welsh also. So you must have been sort of on a roll with it. So now to kind of have that break and not speaking that language, that must be quite annoying.
Yes, Holly, very annoying. It's just something that you just got to try and keep on top of and never let go of. You know, it's really, really important. It was really important to me in the beginning to learn Welsh and to keep it up as much as possible. And yeah, I'll never get something like that back again. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into Faith Howells and finishing the series and giving the fans something really exciting and something really gritty to look forward to.
And how is lockdown for you with your two girls?
Well, I didn't realise how thick I was. It's been, homeschooling and trying to keep the spirits up more than anything, you know. I want them to look back at this time and not think, you know, oh, it was a pandemic and it was a worrying time, which we all know it is. So my job as a mum is to make it a really fun time. So, of course, I've gone out and bought a ridiculously ugly pool for the garden so they can splash around in and things. So it's trying to keep on top of it, trying to keep it light-hearted, and I'm learning long division.
Oh, yeah, God. That's a challenge. And you're missing your parents as well. That's a tricky one. I think so many people feel like that.
Very much. I haven't seen my mum since February and my dad. And it's my mother's birthday next week, you know, so it's very, very difficult. And my mum is, you know, has to stay indoors. She has respiratory problems. And so, Mum, I know you're watching. I love you very, very much. And I want to say happy birthday for next week.
Oh, happy birthday. What's she called?
My mum's called Jennifer.
Happy birthday for
happy
next
birthday,
week, Jennifer.
yeah.
Yeah,
thank you, guys. That means a lot.
Thank you for talking to us today. Lots of love to the girls as well.
Absolutely.
That's Matilda, who's 10, and Sienna, who's 7.
Yes.
And in the meantime, We Hunt Together starts next Wednesday on Alibi, and there's catch up on Sky, Virgin, BT, and Talk. Thank you.
10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, that's the one. Thank you. Lovely to talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Stay safe.
You too.
And you.